You know, it's interesting because we were just showing a chart of Facebook, and the reason we're doing that is because technology stocks have been selling off. Investors are moving their money basically into financials. We saw this yesterday. The Nasdaq posted its biggest loss since August 17th. Victoria Fernandez, Managing Director at Crossmark Global Investments, is here. Victoria, good morning.
Good morning.
I want to show our viewers some of these stocks, and they really took it on the chin yesterday. I want to start with shares of Facebook. We showed the bigger chart a moment ago, but this stock down 4%. There's Facebook. The year-to-date, of course, is stronger. The stock is up about 40%, 50%, excuse me, year-to-date. Amazon lost 3%. Netflix as well. Tumbling. There's Netflix more than 5%, Amazon than Netflix, and then let's move to Google, the parent Alphabet, down almost 2.5%. So I wanted to get these charts out to show our viewers kind of what happened. You're looking at year-to-dates, which are strong, but if you look at the price action yesterday, it was rough. Why?
Yeah, you know, Cheryl, when you look at what we've seen year to date, like you said, there have been huge gains so far. We've got the Dow up almost 20%, NASDAQ up over 25%. And for the first part of the year, a lot of that was central bank driven. Some of that has shifted to be more earnings driven, which gives support for the rally that we've seen. But that doesn't mean that investors don't get a little bit leery of the valuations we're seeing right now. So I don't think it's surprising that they would go in, take a little bit off the table from these sectors that have had such a strong run. Mm-hmm. And you combine that with the fact that we're actually seeing a larger probability of tax reform coming through, of the tax bill being voted on possibly today, a larger probability than a week ago or 2 weeks ago. And these companies will not be the biggest beneficiaries from this tax bill. You look at their effective tax rates, they're much lower. So I think the combination of those two things.
You know, Victoria, for technology, just to point that out, the effective tax rate is about 18.5%. Which is low, but if you look at the other two big industries that won't benefit as much from tax reform, it's real estate investments, it's energy companies, and then technology. The financials, though, those are the ones that are going to see the benefit. So really, this isn't so much about the technology is a bad investment. This is more about the fact that if tax reform goes through, let's look at who benefits and where we might get more of a little bit of a price move in the next couple of months, right?
Right, exactly. And you're seeing some of those funds actually roll into the financials. Look at the momentum that we've seen behind the financial sector recently, and I think that's why you're seeing it. I mean, even as we get here to the end of the year, as we talk to our investors at Crossmark, we're an overweight in our equity strategy right now in financials, and we would expect that to continue going into the first quarter for those very reasons. There's some momentum behind those sectors.
And we're looking at how these names have done in particular, and of course the overall market since, the election. I mean, the Dow up 30%, the Nasdaq up 31%. So yesterday's sell-off, not something to cry about. I'll tell you what, though, real quick, people are crying about Bitcoin. Victoria, I mean, in the 9-year history of Bitcoin, I mean, we've seen these jumps, $1,000 jumps, and then a plummet yesterday on Bitcoin. You know, some investors say, hey, this is a nice little way to spice up my portfolio. What do you say to a Bitcoin fan out there who just saw a $1,000 drop on the price of Bitcoin yesterday?
Right. I mean, I will say we are not investors in Bitcoin, but if you are, you really need to be someone that can take the volatility that's there. You don't have the fundamentals in Bitcoin that you do with other companies where you can really go look at those numbers, measure those numbers, and kind of see what you think it should be worth. It's all supply and demand. And when you look yesterday, I mean, even the Coinbase exchange had a hard time keeping up with a $10 billion volume. So if you're going to invest, you need to be ready for the volatility.
You know, it's explaining to my mother that it's a stateless digital currency. It wasn't really the best explanation. Victoria, thank you very much. I mean, we really appreciate it. You know, Bitcoin,
thanks so much.
People